to Mr. UFC Vegas Fight Club TV. I am Kyle, your host. Welcome to the podcast and welcome to the prediction show. Fight Night 127, Verdum versus Volkov, March 17th, this Saturday, and we are going to talk about that. But just before we talk about that, I want to remind everybody, March 17th, which is this Saturday, we are giving away $100 of cryptocurrency. Looks like we may do it in increments of 25 for all subscribers. So enter, like this video, comment on it. Once you do that, you are entered into the contest. And what we're going to do from there is I'm actually going to be in Tropicana Resort and Casino this weekend with some friends watching the NCAA tournament, as well as watching Verdum Volkov. So I may live stream it, I may do a couple videos from there, take you guys with me, see how that goes. But I will be there all weekend, and we will definitely let you guys know March 17th who won the cryptocurrency giveaway. So subscribe, like, comment, and you're entered. So now let's get down to business. The first we want to go over the fact of what we did last time on predictions. Predictions was at UFC 222. We picked Ortega, O'Malley, Catlin Vieira, and Pedro Munoz. Just missed on Pedro Munoz. We hit the 3, missed Pedro Munoz by 1 judge. Would have had a 4-0 night. Still a profitable night. Still hit them all straight, and as well as some parlays. So feel pretty good about it and want to keep it going on our best bet so far right now, up to date. On the best bet, which was Catlin Vieira in the last in UFC 222. Right now we are 15-5 plus 14.35 units. So 15 wins, 5 losses, plus 14.35 units for this year. Hey, if you've been following along, you're doing pretty well. Your bankroll's doing all right. So now let's get into, and those who are following on Reddit as well. Now let's get into the picks. I have 2 plays on this card. You know, for me, honestly, you know, I love MMA, regardless of the organization or wherever it is, the leagues that there are out there. I love watching it, I love analyzing it, I love breaking it down for handicap purposes, as well as and making money, but as well as the enjoyment. I do love the sport. So this may not be the most hyped card out there, but it's a card. I'm excited for it, and we're looking forward to making some money on this card. So 2 plays. I'm first going to give you my one unit play, and it's going to be in the main event. Actually, it's going to be Verdum, Fabricio Verdum, who is minus 200, and Alexander Volkov is plus 170. Now, looking at these, again, like I tell everybody, I like to go on the UFC app, I go back, I rewatch their last 3 fights, I look at tendencies, I look at where maybe there's a spot where the opponent can expose the other fighter, and just honestly just try to see if I can analyze it the right way and where it will head for this fight. Always like to do that. I really think that's a great asset with, of course I know what has happened in these fights, but really diving into it to who they're going to fight. So, first, we're going to start with Alexander Volkov. Now, Volkov, to me, you know, guy coming from another organization, coming to the UFC. His first fight was against Timothy Johnson. Volkov is known for his power. That's his big thing. He's 29-6. He's knocked out half of those guys in the first round. Big time power is what they're telling us right now that he's got in his hands. So the first fight, it was his debut against Timothy Johnson. Now this fight, again, he's hyped, he's hyped, he's hyped. If you don't know who Timothy Johnson is more of a wrestler, ground and pounder, very ugly kind of fighter where he likes to keep it very dirty inside, lay on you, work the ground and pound. He's not going to be very flashy there. He's probably the complete opposite of flashy. So in this fight, the first round, Timothy Johnson knocks down Volkov in the first round. Knocks him down and gets on top of him, works the ground a little bit. And again, I have a lot to say each one of these fights because I rewatched them, trying to go as fast as I can through them. But in that fight, it was a split decision victory for Volkov, but it was a very, very slow-paced, didn't really see much action from Volkov. I just don't think that he showed a lot of explosiveness. ring awareness, I just didn't see much from him, and he got very tired early, and that scares me. Right out the gate, it scared me. Watching the second fight was against Roy Nelson. Now, we all know where Roy Nelson is. Roy Nelson is in Bellator. He's no longer with the UFC. Roy Nelson has had his time there, in the UFC and had some highlight moments. He has the big overhand right. He's known for really kind of standing in there and getting dirty. Not scared to stand in front of you. And this is a fight that I thought this was really going to highlight Volkov's ability. What he's good at, the spots that he's good at it. And for me, this was where he needed to do it. So, rewatching it again, obviously I knew what happened. Right away out the gate, the first thing that Roy Nelson does, one, the stature for Volkov, he's got a longer reach, much longer reach. He's got the height advantage, a lot of advantages he's got there. Roy Nelson was able to quickly take him to the ground and basically lay on him for the entire first round. Did a little bit of ground and pound, not too much damage, but the fact he was easily taken down, from Roy Nelson, that's a telling sign. To continue with the fight, Volkov had some nice leg kicks. I think that's probably his best weapon. From what I've seen, I don't really see the hands having much pop in them. Of course, he does have the moments that he explodes, but he doesn't have much capability to throw a nice combination together. So, in this fight, it did go decision for Volkov. He did get the win there, but it just there wasn't much explosiveness that I'm prepared to watch. And again, what they keep talking up. Again, Struve, this is again, obviously Struve is 6'11", big guy. In this fight, Struve actually, I believe, don't know the stats on it, but he was outstriking Volkov in this fight. Now, we know what he did with, in his last fight against Arlovsky. Arlovsky is also, he's past his prime as well here, but, Arlovsky got that victory, and we saw what he did. And Struve was able to put in some nice work, nice combinations, work him, hurt him, hit him with a flying knee on Volkov. So there was a lot of things that Struve was doing to him that he probably shouldn't have been able to do to him. Let's put it that way. So at the end of the fight, actually it got to the third round, Volkov ended up getting the finish. I think it was more because Struve looked exhausted. And throughout that, Volkov in each one of these fights got tired early. Cardio just didn't show me much there, and that he didn't really even exert himself a lot, where I thought, wow, he's doing a lot, and maybe that values the fact that he gets tired. So that was something to think about. Now, going over to Verdum, ex-champion, black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, probably the best in the heavyweight division, if not the UFC, arguably in the UFC, up there. 3 fights ago, he fought Overeem. Now, Overeem, it may be tough to get when Ngannou blew up his head, knocking out Overeem. That may be tough to get out of your mind. But in this fight, Overeem looked sensational. Overeem looked great. He just kept good distance. Every time Verdum tried to pull guard, he was easily able to just get out of it. He was very smart the way he just kept his distance, kept the kicks going, and really just continued to put nice combinations together, didn't fall into Verdum's trap. Verdum, I actually fought a good fight. I just think Overeem outfought him that night. Overeem is a world-class striker. Obviously, this is 2 great fighters going against each other. Overeem got the best of them. On the cards, it actually went, 3 cards went 29-28 for Overeem, so it was a close fight. I think that Verdum actually fought a good fight, but Overeem fought a better fight that night. His 2 fights ago was against Walt Harris. Walt Harris stepped in for somebody to fight Verdum. Walt Harris was preparing for a striker. Obviously, Verdum was not a striker. He's well-rounded, but obviously that's not his game. He ended up armbarring Walt Harris within the first minute of the first round. So at least it's good to see Verdum doing what he's supposed to against certain talent. That's what I liked actually about that fight, is that he actually did what he should do. If he didn't, if it was a 3-round war, or, not even saying he needs to lose, but if he just didn't look good in that fight against a guy who stepped in and he did what he was supposed to do, and that shows that Verdum is still there, and at least, of course, that guy was below his level, but shows that he did what he was supposed to against an opponent that was far below him. And his last fight was against Tybura, and Tybura, I think he's a good fighter. I think he can go a little bit further within the UFC. A little bit more of a step up for him was Verdum. In this fight, it was a 5-round sweep basically for Verdum. Verdum really played a nice strategy going into that fight. He didn't rush, and I feel like against Miocic, when he got knocked out, he rushed, looked for the knockout, didn't get it, he got knocked out, and I think since then he has really been smart and realized, listen, if I just fight my game, I can win these fights. And that's what he did in that fight against Tybura. He didn't overexert himself. He fought a perfect fight. He went in there and said, listen, if I just stick to my game plan, I'm going to win this fight. He didn't finish him, but he did get the victory, and I thought he won, and most of the cards, he won, 5-0 on the scorecards. So, with that, I think you know where I'm going here. I really believe that Verdum is going to just realize that first round, or two, that, just do enough. It's not like he needs to turtle up and hide from Volkov, but do enough where he can win these rounds, or at least let Volkov exert himself a little bit, take Volkov to deep water, let him at least exert some type of energy where Verdum, he'll be able to, in the long run, either take him to the ground, because honestly it didn't look like Volkov had much of a defense defensively on the takedowns, so I think he'll be able to do what he wants to do. I think we're going to see a lot of Verdum pushing Volkov up against the cage. I think there's going to be a lot of that, and it's going to be where Verdum takes advantage of him, whether he takes him to the ground or a lot of strikes inside tight. But I just believe that he's going to get it close, and he's going to make it where Volkov just gets tired. I got Verdum at 1 unit, minus 200 here. I really fully believe that this is going to be a sweep for him. I don't really see much that Volkov brings to the table at this point. So that's 1 unit, Fabricio Verdum at minus 200. Now, the best bet we're going to go with here. We only have 2 plays on this card. Now again, the best bet, we are 15-5 plus 14.35 units. So we've been doing well here. Want to keep that going. In this, the play that we're doing is going to be Jimmy Manuwa versus Jan Blachowicz. And this fight here, Manuwa is minus 205. Blachowicz is plus 185. Now here again, rewatch these fights, rewatch the last 3 for each of these guys, and looking at it, we'll go down again real quickly. 4 fights ago, Blachowicz fought Gustafsson. Gustafsson is a tough fighter. He lost there, can't put anything against him. The next fight was against Patrick Cummings in a decision where Blachowicz lost. Didn't think there was much there. To be honest, he gassed really early, ugly fight. Really thought he had opportunities to win that fight. Never took advantage of those opportunities, which you need to do. And again, against a middle-of-the-road fighter in Cummings, I did that right out the gate worried me of even looking at him saying what he did. He just could not push the pace and get the victory and take over a round where he should have. He didn't. He got the loss there. The next one is Devin Clark. Now, Devin Clark is a younger guy. I think he's got talent. I think he's got ability within the UFC. But this fight here was an opportunity, I believe, more for Blachowicz to just dominate. He didn't dominate. He did get the rear naked choke in the second round, but I didn't like the way that the flow of the fight. I know that's slightly awkward to say that, but I just didn't feel like I think it was more Clark's inexperience that put him in a situation where he was able to get choked out compared to Blachowicz just dominating the fight and winning. I really feel those are 2 very different things. So he did get the choke out there, he did get the victory, but it wasn't an impressive victory as I thought. But again, this was something he should do. This was something he should do, so you can't really fully take it away from him. Then his last fight was against Jared Cannonier, and Cannonier, I think, has ability. He's got raw talent, he's got nice reach, decent movement, but in this fight was very sloppy for the both of them. Not many exchanges between the 2 of them, not many combinations between the 2 of them. He tried to take down Blachowicz tried to take down Cannonier a couple times, didn't, then he was able to a couple. It was just sloppy. It was just not, he wasn't dominating the fight. He was able to take him down, and it wasn't even impressive once he had him down. He gassed early again in this fight. Big red flag. He did get some wins in the ones I looked at. He went 2-2 in those fights, but even the fights that he won, he was not that impressive. At least, again, this is my opinion here. Now, going to Jimmy Manuwa. Jimmy Manuwa, 4 fights ago, he lost to Anthony Johnson. Again, another fight you can't take away from the guy. Anthony Johnson is an absolute beast. Then he fought Ovince St. Preux. Ovince St. Preux, he knocked out in the 2nd round. Corey Anderson. This Corey Anderson fight, I really like the fact that his defensive takedowns, his takedown defense was so good. And the way that he's able to sprawl, stop the takedown, quick sprawl and stop, and then when he's able to get off of that, he starts swinging. So he makes you pay. So you come in for the takedown, he makes you pay. He definitely makes you pay, and we all know that he's got those overhand rights and lefts that are very, very on point, very accurate. So he was able to do that with Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson, he knocked down the 1st round. Not much to break down there that he was able to knock him down. I just like how he has his ability to stop the takedown going up against a guy like Blachowicz, who's probably going to push that part of the fight. He's probably going to push that part. Now, the fight I want to talk about a little bit more is Volkan Ozdemir. Now, when he fought Volkan Ozdemir was at a point where he was beating people, stepping in, knocking people out, stepping in, short notice kind of fights, and he was getting these victories. And you can't take anything away from the guy because all of a sudden he shows up against Daniel Cormier in a title fight. But he was a victim of circumstance is the way I look at this. There were spots there where people might have taken him lightly. Again, this is just my opinion. I believe that people took him lightly, didn't really think he was that much of a threat, and he got the knockout. He got another knockout. Next thing you know, he's fighting Daniel Cormier. So, I believe that Jimmy Manuwa this fight was for his taking. This was a fight he should have had, and he should have been fighting Daniel Cormier. That's just what I believe. He took it lightly. He came in with his hands low. He believed this hype. He wanted to exchange, but he was allowing Ozdemir to hit him, knocked him out. He took one. I really believe that. I would like to see that fight again, to be honest with you, which could be happening at some point. But I believe that the takedown defense, the fact that Blachowicz is going to try to get those takedowns, and I think that's going to be actually a very bad thing for him because I believe that Blachowicz is going to try and he's not going to be able to get those takedowns. It's going to tire him out big time, giving Manuwa more of an opportunity to stand and strike. And I either believe it's going to be a decision or a late TKO, but I've got Jimmy Manuwa 2-unit play at -205, and that's going to be the best bet of Fight Night 127. Those are my picks, so let me know what you guys think. Do you agree, disagree? Do you think that I'm on the right track here? Do you think that you kind of got the other guy, or are there even other plays that you guys like as well? Let me know what you guys think. We'll comment, have conversation, kind of see if there's other opportunities to make some money, but those are my plays. We've got Fabricio Verdum at 1 unit at -200, and then we have Jimmy Manuwa 2 units, and that's best bet, and that's -205. And again, best bet, we are 15-5 this year. We are plus 14.35 units, and there you have it. Do not forget to subscribe, head kick that bell icon so you know we're dropping content here. Again, I will be at Tropicana Resort Casino this weekend, all weekend. We're going to shoot some footage there. We will be announcing the winner of the $100 cryptocurrency. So get involved, subscribe. And this is Mr. UFC Vegas, Fight Club TV.